What's up, everyone? Garage 79R. We're in the shop today. We're doing some upgrades. It's 4th of July weekend, and we're going to be working on Earl. It's kind of goofy in here because it's supposed to be in the 90s today, and as long as I keep the door shut and a fan on, which I have the fan off right now so you can hear me, it stays pretty nice in here. So we're working kind of awkward with this 3000 GTSL up on the lift. It's a good customer of mine. He also has a Starlet that I work on. And so we're working on Earl. And at the last event, it was my first event running on the standalone ECU from SpeedyEFI called the Fishdog. And it works really well, but I have some particular issues with my car because it's batch ignition, and I have cold plugs in it, and it burns a little oil, which all Tercels really do. So it loads up the plugs at low speed stuff. So like moving around in grid and pits, it was, struggling. It was loading the plugs up. Also, if the traffic on the way home was an issue. I got Volkswagen Audi coils. NGKs are $20 a pop. So these coils have really good output, and some people have figured out you can adjust the dwell settings to get a little bit more out of them if you need to. And I was looking at other coils, like the R35 coils are I think the best ones out there, but they're $120 a pop. I'm sorry, I'm not spending nearly twice as much on my coils than I did on the car. So we're doing this style, and I like the fact that you don't need a hold down, but I think I might still build something just to be sure. So I had to trim the boot a little bit, then I put an O-ring. So I mean they're pretty good, but I still might build something just to be redundant and not have any potential issues with them vibrating off or something, because this car buzzes a little bit. So we will see. So then I'm also converting it to sequential injection using the old injector harness from Floyd. Luckily, I don't throw anything away. This is why I have so much crap. But that's the easy button for me to convert it to sequential injection. So 95, 96, they were batch injection, and of course waste spark, and they were waste spark throughout the rest of the series. To Canada got them to 99, and same thing, the waste spark. So we're going full on sequential spark and injection, and hopefully that'll allow it to run a little bit better, especially at low speeds. When there's any kind of load or mic and power, it runs fine. It runs really, really good actually. But is the low speed stuff, it struggles. So I'm hoping the hotter spark will kind of help crutch the fact that I have a cold plug, and it won't, let them foul out. So we will see. I'm not going to film me doing it. All right, so I separated the injector harness from the knock sensor and crank sensor. There's also got the injector or coil plugs. I might use this wiring with adding the COPs. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to integrate that yet, but this was the main piece. So we'll get started on this. Alrighty, so I got the harness out, which is a little bit more difficult when you have more crap in the engine bay. Had to undo the strut bar, or kind of fold over the intercooler, or charge cooler I should call it. But I was able to get the harness out with most of my skin intact. So the plan is, first of all, eliminate the connectors and wiring I do not need. Second of all is now integrating the coil wiring, which I just confirmed how they want it wired in the speedy window, along with the pinouts and whatnot. Oh, sorry, I need to click out of that. So I have a plan. Again, I'm not really going to show how to do it because I'm also figuring it out as I go. I have an idea, but granted, there's probably only 2 of you to be doing this exact thing. So that's the plan, and I'll touch base when I have a little bit more progress. All right, I'm well into this, and a year ago or so, this would have been to get into. So the biggest thing is take notes, You know, it helps. I have a factory service manual. There's all my Volkswagen connectors. And I'm eliminating the igniter, but then I'm also repurposing the wire. So I cut this short so I can have a pigtail just in case for whatever reason down the road. But I'm also going to repurpose the wires to be my coil wires and whatnot. And it's, yeah, like a year or so ago, I probably wouldn't have gotten this involved in the wiring. I still tout myself as a carburetor guy. I hate wiring. But dealing with Floyd has really, doing the 1NZ conversion on Floyd has really kind of trained me. I know how to look at the book now. I know what to expect. Plus, it helps I know all the intricacies of these cars to begin with. So, getting into this is not that intimidating. Just take your time, take notes, and all should be well. I'm eliminating. So I had the connector for like the EGR, like I don't know, VS or vacuum switching solenoid or whatever it was. And I'm like eliminating the front O2 sensor because I'm only running off of widebands. So I got to make a decision which wires, because I need to free up wires to repurpose, to try to eliminate having excessive connections. If I can just, have a connection per wire and that's it, and then repin it, and, sort of using the factory harness to build my own custom harness. And I think it's going to work out really well. I'm confident I'm not going to have any issues. So I just got to work through it. It's, I'm into this over an hour now. I got the fan on. It's nice and comfortable in here. I've been listening to good old music. If you're intimidated by wiring, it's not that bad. Every wire has a purpose. Most sensors have like a power wire, then a signal wire, and a ground. Some are just two wires. It looks like spaghetti, but if you work at it system by system, it's whatever. And here's another thing I do. So they have the wiring gets folded over and doubled back for whatever reason. Like here's the ground, here's the wiper motor, stuff like that. I'm eliminating all the tape right now because I'm going to retape it. But I zip tie it, so I know I kept that fold exactly where it is. But the zip tie still allows me to pull wires in and out if I have to. So, just work through it. Alright, so I got pretty much all my connections done, other than I got to do one over there. That's just so there's a tact signal in the harness. And I'm starting to wrap it up with Tessa tape. I'm going to call it same old G style. My buddy Jihad, he did his harness in Tessa tape. So I'm doing it that way for the most part. There's still going to be some of this stuff that's still on here, like in the high wear areas, but just trying to clean it up, make it a little bit nicer. Alright, the full sequential conversion is done. I had a little bit of a snafu yesterday on July 4th. Today's July 5th. And now the car is running fantastic. I'm just working through the tunes. I'm doing logs, blah, blah, blah. I got the car still parked to be sure, but it's working. And it's already noticeably smoother and better, and I don't have issues at idle. So this was definitely worthwhile. So I'm going to take a long morning. Not much going on in the shop. I'm waiting on parts and stuff. So we're going to drive around and do some more logging and get this thing pretty well sorted, put it through its paces, make sure everything's happy. I have less than 2 weeks to the next event, so that gives me plenty of time to iron out any details. And yeah, it's going to be pretty good. I'm really excited. As I said, so far it's running so much smoother. Oh, I didn't think it was going to be that drastic, but it really is. And these are Audi R8 coils. I mean, they're pretty much all the same, not just an R8, but got some swell settings from the internet, 1.8 ms, and it's just working. Hell yeah. Yeah, Earl's running really good. I'm really happy with this conversion. I tighten up my blow-off valve a little bit, so if I do a light let off, I get a little bit more lift-off surge. It still pops off. Yeah. So this was good. I'm gonna end the video here, but this thing's running really, really good, and I'm just gonna keep working on the fine-tuning. But like on boost, it's on point. It rolls out. So yeah, SpeedyEFI, Speedy Window, ECU, Fishdog. Technically, this is called the Fishdog. Definitely worth it. And I would recommend to anyone that can put in a little bit of the legwork. It's very rewarding when you get things right.